Dutch pockets for me?
I'm not the one who's done.
Sir, I don't keep your hands out of your pockets. Put the phone
I
down.
haven't done a crime. Don't talk to me like
Listen
that.
to me. I don't know you.
Listen,
you can put
I
that
don't
down.
know you. You're the one with the gun. Why?
Get down on the ground now. Get down on the ground.
Yes.
Get down on the ground.
What the?
I told you not
That's
to reach for anything.
I haven't committed a crime. You don't have any.
Hands out to your
I
side
haven't
now.
committed a crime.
A furious Florida cop decided to pull a gun on the man who called the police for help. Put it up full mass. Florida's out of control. A video shows a Florida cop pull out his gun, threaten to shoot the man, and he's the one who called 911 for help. So the officer who said all this, she later played the victim. I'm going to take you through some twists and turns with this. So the video that ended the career of Palm Beach Gardens police officer Bethany Guerriero shows the veteran cop pointing her gun at an unarmed man dressed only in his swim trunks and ordering him to the ground before handcuffing him. But see, that man, his name is Ryan Gould. Ryan turned out to be the victim who called the police. He needed help after another man threatened to shoot him during a verbal argument at a community pool inside of South Florida apartment complex. This happened May 9th, 2023. Ryan then turned to Lackluster, a police accountability YouTube channel with more than 1.2 million subscribers. They obtained surveillance video from the complex along with body camera footage of the cops threatening to arrest Ryan at headquarters, publishing an explanation video titled, "Innocent Man Locked Up by Unhinged Cop, Chief Escalates." So this is a 19-minute video. I cannot show that full video, obviously, but published June 8th, 2023, created an online backlash leading to an internal affairs investigation that resulted in the termination of the cop who did all of this on August 25th. Now, what caused the termination? Not the good actions of the police, but the good actions of individuals who decided to record the bad actions of the police and put it out in the public, all right? With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. So the backlash grew in the following months as Lackluster posted more humiliating videos containing body camera footage from the incident and audio from her internal affairs interview, in which she cried and played the victim, but to no avail. But in a deposition recently made public, Officer Guerriero insisted she did nothing wrong because Ryan had taken a bladed stance, making her fear for her safety, even though the video shows Ryan was simply stepping backwards as she approached him in an aggressive manner. Quote, "His behavior to me was not typical of a victim," she explained in the deposition that lasted more than 3 hours. Quote, "That's one of those behaviors that for me was equating to possibly not something very good." Congratulations, Guerriero. You had a conversation with your union chief, when she explained to you how to talk at the deposition. It all started when Ryan was swimming. He was swimming laps in the community pool. This was at Sable Ridge apartment complex just after 11 a.m. A woman entered the pool area, posed a question to him to stop. Would you stop so she could swim laps in a perpendicular direction? Okay. On a shorter end of the pool. Ryan basically said no. But Ryan refused to leave the pool, which was otherwise void of people, and continued swimming his laps. The woman started swimming her laps, resulting in the two swimming into each other's path. Surveillance video contains no audio, but shows the two arguing before the woman steps out of the pool to go call her husband, Mr. Salvia, who then walks into the pool area to argue with Ryan. So the video shows the husband and his wife walking towards Ryan. As he tries to back away, at one point, the husband walks up to him and stands directly in front of him, lifting his shirt to reveal his gun in his holster. It was tucked in his waistband. That's when Ryan left the pool area to call the police about a man brandishing a gun. But the husband was the first to call the police, accusing Ryan of harassing his wife, telling dispatchers he displayed a gun and that he has a concealed weapons permit. Palm Beach Gardens officer Michael Guerriero says was the first cop to arrive on the scene and confronted Ryan, who was standing outside the pool clubhouse. Quote, "Are you the one with the firearm?" Guerriero asked the shirtless man. "I don't have it, he does," responded Ryan, prompting the officer to walk around the clubhouse to the pool to get the gun from the husband without having to draw his own gun. Okay, now I want to pause there. When an officer does it properly, you applaud that. That was properly done. He posed a question. He understood the answer, and he was able to go to the other person and say, "Listen, just for us to clear this scene, let me go ahead and take that up off you, and let's go ahead and investigate what happened here." No problem. And then what happens? Here comes Guerriero. So Officer Guerriero pops up, right? The scene has pretty much been, well, sanitized. So Guerriero comes and decided to start berating him, okay? Now, at this point, there's a back and forth. So I'm going to read some of the quotes. Once again, it's a 19-minute video. It had a lot of quotes. "I haven't done a crime. Don't talk to me like that," he responded, agitated by the cop's demeanor, but keeping his hands by his sides, away from his pockets. And that was when she decided to pull a gun. Nobody else pulled the gun. She did, ordering him down on the ground to handcuff and arrest him on a charge of resisting arrest without violence. The other officer pulled out a taser, pointed it at Ryan. Ryan sat handcuffed on the hot pavement for minutes before he was eventually placed in a patrol vehicle. Guerriero would go on to berate him as Ryan argued with her about his mistreatment while more and more officers gathered at the scene. Quote, "You're furious. What did I do?" Ryan asked the officer. When detained, Ryan also poses the question, "Can someone tell me why I am in handcuffs?" But Officer Guerriero was unable to follow through with the arrest because during Ryan's detainment at the scene, he started complaining about chest pains and was rushed to the hospital for what she describes in the deposition as a cardiac incident. And it was verified. He actually stayed in the hospital for a few days. So Ryan filed a federal lawsuit against Officer Guerriero and Strelecki in January, which is why she was deposed. She was under oath. After Guerriero was transported to the hospital, other officers drove Ryan to jail wearing only shorts and Crocs, placing him in a cell. Meanwhile, a sergeant was viewing the surveillance video from the apartment complex and determined that Ryan was indeed the victim and not the aggressor. Palm Beach Gardens Police Sergeant Dennis Beef then ordered Ryan to be unarrested. The hell? They can do that? I didn't even know that. But unarrested before driving to the hospital to inform Guerriero that her actions would likely lead to discipline against her. Guerriero tearfully told Internal Affairs that the sergeant made her feel humiliated in front of my spouse and two other officers. When she asked the sergeant who made the decision to release Ryan, he said he did. Quote, "That decision was made when I watched the surveillance video of Ryan, of Gould." He responded, quote, "Everything he said to Valerio was 100% true about the incident that took place at the pool." Once again, remember, the first responding cop was cool. He said, "Okay, I got you. Thanks for answering the question." All right, now, quote, "I saw that video." This is what he said. "I saw that video. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, Get that man out of jail. Get him out of jail. Get him out of jail right now. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's the police talking to the police. That's hard. That's called integrity. That's called righteous indignation for putting a man inside of a cell because of your ego. He said, get him the F out of jail now. He says this. He was describing his phone conversation with another sergeant at the jail. He says, quote, I'll drive down there personally and pull that man out of jail and drive him to Red Lobster and get him something to eat and get him home. 2 days later, the husband, Mr. Sally, was cited for a misdemeanor charge for improper exhibition of a firearm, meaning he only had to sign a notice to appear in court. He pleaded no contest, required an anger management class, and his gun was returned to him without having to spend a moment in handcuffs or jail at all. Now, there are some nuances here, obviously, okay? One, we rarely see cops go against cops. I mean, in real time, same day stuff here, okay? Immediate reaction. And I hope that would extend to whoever was the victim of Guerriero. White male, black male, white female, black female, it doesn't matter. Brown male, brown female, it doesn't matter. I hope it will be extended universally. And see, at Indisputable, it doesn't matter either. This man was a victim. He was a victim of an officer named Guerriero. And the supervising cop, damn it, he did the right thing. And he did it quickly. And he said, if you don't do it, I'm gonna do it myself. That's called leadership. All right, we'll applaud you. All right, Jackson, an ironic twist in this narrative of significant dysfunction in the department. And then you have this basically light worker who says, hell no, you're gonna have to get him out, or I get him out myself.
Yeah, and not only did he care about integrity, but also clearly he cares about the reputation of the department, and people's public trust in law enforcement in general. I mean, from the breakdown, it seemed like Guerrero's whole issue was that he told her not to talk to him that way,
right?
And that seems like when it all went downhill. And, the example before that of the police officer handling things calmly and smoothly, usually that works well. Police, the culture of having to be tough, one, it doesn't really work. And two, it's not necessary. Y'all got guns, you got backup, you got tasers, you got nightsticks, and you got the law on your side. Most people aren't gonna try to fight you. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna go down usually, unless someone's suffering from some type of mental crisis or they're on drugs, something similar to that. But Guerriero was wrong through and through, and she just gotta suck it up and own it and be an adult.
Yep, that's it. Instead of crying to internal affairs about how unfair this treatment has been.